180!
Yeah. Start with Ruth from UTV.
Hello, Luke.
Hello.
Welcome to Belfast.
Thank you.
Just what do you think of playing in Belfast first, and what do you make of the crowd here?
Yeah, really good. Obviously, I've only ever played it once before last year, and it's probably one of the better venues that we played at with the crowd. So, yeah, really looking forward to coming back this year as well, and performing in front of them again.
Well done last week. Nice
Thank
to
you.
come into this week off the back of that.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good confidence booster. The last 2 years, there's been a very poor start in the start of the year for me. The Masters has never really been my friend. I don't think it made it past the last 16 there before, so it was nice to get that off my back and go on and win there. And there's just another major title that I've got in the bag, and I want to complete the set. So hopefully I can pick up the UK Open, the European Championships one day, and have every one.
And just how much of a high is darts on at the moment with all the rivalries that are going on?
Yeah, it's great. I think, for the last 15 months it's been amazing, but it's been growing and growing for the last 3 or 4 years. So, it's really nice that we're here now, and you're at the forefront of the sport being the biggest place it's ever been at. So, it's a privilege to be the number one of the sport, and I'm hoping that it continues to grow and continues to flourish the way it deserves.
Yeah, as number one, you must feel that target on your back though.
Yeah, you do. You always got a target on your back. If you're the number one or the world champion, there's always a target on your back. So, yeah, of course, you just got to own it and try and do as well as you can. I think I've done pretty decent over the last 13, 14 months being world number one. So, yeah, hopefully I can continue to flourish being it.
Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Luke, here we are, back in the Premier League. Got to the final, obviously, last year. Is it one you really want to tick off this year?
Yeah, of course, it is one you want to tick off. I mean, I'm not like desperate for it. It has to be this year. But yeah, of course, it's one of them majors that you want to win because it's so prestigious and it's really, really tough to win. This could arguably be harder than winning any other major, because the fact of it, you can't win it on one day. It takes 5 to 6 months to win it. So arguably it could be the hardest one to win, and it'd be nice to complete the set having the Worlds, the match play and the Premier League all not being one calendar year, but it'd be nice to have them all together. And for me, this is definitely the biggest one that I ain't got at the moment.
Is that something that you look at, because that club is so exclusive that have won all of them? So to put your name in that club, would that be something that you cherish as well?
Yeah, it would be. There's not loads of people that have got all three, so of course it would be nice to be part of that club. And like I said, this one really is tough to win. You can have five to six really, really good months playing the best of your ability, and then you have one day in the finals that don't go your way or don't play very good, then you haven't won it. So yeah, for me, this is a really, really tough one to win, and that's why I think it'd mean a lot to do it. You
talk about slow starts to the season that you've had before, but to get off on such a winning note must fill you with full of confidence going into Belfast this week.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I've not had the best of starts over the last 2 years. At the start of the years, last year I very, very slowly started the tournament off, and I don't think I really got going until maybe like the UK Open. So, it's nice to get off to a bit of a better start this year, and it might play a pivotal part of having another better year than I did, even last year.
You don't change your darts or equipment very often, but you made that change at the beginning of this year. How hard a decision was that, seeing what you'd won with all the others, but obviously getting off to a winning start with them must go, hang on a minute, I've done something right?
Yeah, the darts I used before last year would have been the ones I've used for 3 years. So yeah, it's always tough when obviously there's still the same setup of dart, just a different set. So it's always tough. But when you win with them, I think that kind of gives you the belief then. There's no excuse. I can't say the darts are not doing me justice or anything, because I've won with them and played pretty decent with them. So yeah, of course, when you win with a new set, it kind of gives you that little bit of extra confidence, and there's no excuses going forward for me now not to enjoy them for the next couple of years if I need to.
Cheers, Luke. Thank you.
Thank you.
Luke, it's still pretty incredible to think that last year was your debut in the Premier League. Is there anything that you learned last year, maybe with the schedule or the format, that you can take into this year to hopefully go one better and win the tournament?
Yeah, I think I have said that a few times, that it kind of, from the experiences of what you learned from last year, you can take into this year. And if you're a newbie and not played in it before, it is tough because you really don't know what to expect, how to handle things. So yeah, for me, I think the experience of last year will help me, and managing your calendar as best as you physically can. I mean, it's so stacked that you just physically can't play in everything. It's kind of impossible, but it's important that you don't neglect too much, and you're not turning up to Pro Tour here, European Tour here, and not playing a lot, because it can affect your performances in the Premier League as well. So I'll keep myself very busy throughout the year, but I'll make sure I pick and choose the right tournaments to miss to make sure that I don't overburn myself out.
2 years ago, you were the world number 5, had a great year, but was left out of the Premier League before you lifted your first major. Some people this year left out, maybe expected to be in. If you could give some advice to those people, what would it be to try and get themselves in that conversation for next year?
I'd just say don't let it eat you up too much, because certain players have done that. They let it eat them up, and then it kind of affects your start of the season. And if your season ain't started off well, then it can affect you for the whole of the year. So, being in this obviously is a lot of people's dreams, and it's amazing, but it is really tough. And the PDC have got a good way of maybe allowing people a bit more extra time, because you win a major and you think, right, it's my time now, I'm ready for the Premier League, and maybe you're not. Maybe I wasn't ready for it that year that they expelled me from it, or didn't put me in it. They made the right decision, because if they could have put me in it that year, maybe I was too soon. I might have had a really bad year then and never gone on to achieve the things I did. So, everything happens for a reason. I think there's a few players that are obviously disappointed that they didn't get in, but all I could say, maybe just take a bit of inspiration from what I did, prove them wrong, and I think if you win a major, then you go and do it again the next year, then you're ready, because you're doing it consistently. But sometimes when you win one major, it ain't enough to get yourself in this cauldron, which is quite tough. But there's a few players that, if they can have a good season, they'll have a great chance of being in next year.
Cheers, Luke. Thanks for your time.
Look, how important is it to treat the Premier League like a marathon, not a sprint? You obviously want to win every night, but important to sort of build yourself into it as well.
Yeah, very important to do that. It's if you don't get off to a great start, I don't think I did last year. I think I started off maybe 3 of the 4 weeks, made one final, and then managed to get top of the league 4 weeks later. So it is a marathon. It's important that you don't get too disheartened if things don't go your way early on, or if you have a little blip midway. It's so tough. You're playing the best in, week out, and if you have 3 weeks that you lose, or 3 weeks on the trot, accept it, because that can happen. But there's also, like I showed last year, 3 weeks on the trot you can win. So don't ever count yourself out, and just stay consistent. I think that is the most important thing. If you stay consistent, you should be good for the semi-finals. But you can be consistent and still not get through. So you have to make sure that you're at your best as much as you physically can be.
Obviously, the dart hasn't been thrown yet in this year's Premier League, but what would it mean for you to go in that?
Yeah, it'd mean a lot. It's definitely something on the CV that is not there, that I'd love to have on it, and it's very prestigious. Like I said, it's incredibly tough to win. It could be even tougher than the Worlds, because of the 16 weeks you have to show up and be at your best. Then you have to be at your best again on that one night to make sure you go on and win it. So, yeah, for me, I think it's probably one of the toughest ones to win. And every time you make that semi-finals, you want to take advantage and go on and win it. So, yeah, the goal for me is just getting to them semi-finals, and hopefully on that day that you're there, you can have the best day of your life and go on and win it. Thank you.
Belfast and Dublin last year, look, incredible locations. What was your take on Irish fans? Obviously, look, they know the party and enjoy themselves.
Yeah, I thought the Dublin and Belfast were two of the best nights we had last year, to be honest, for atmosphere, and these are great nights, and the Irish really know how to party. So yeah, it's great to be back, and really looking forward to performing tomorrow night in front of the fans who showed so much great enjoyment last year.
Would you like to see a major back in Ireland? Obviously, look, we mentioned the Grand Prix was there for many years, but look, it'd be great to get it back, wouldn't it?
It would be, of course. It was prestigious to be in Ireland, so of course it'd be nice to see it back. But logistically, it's not been able to do that. So I'm sure in the future, whenever the time's right, it will come back. But logistically, at the moment, unfortunately, it's not available to do that. But you're right. Yeah, it would be nice to have it back in Ireland.
And last of all, look, we talk of walkout teams. Strings of Yasmin, it's one of the best teams, and it's the Leeds tune, but will we see that this year maybe? I liked it, when you had that little introduction to your walkout. Will it come back?
Probably, but probably just for the Leeds one. I think that was just a little special rendition for them. It was good, I did enjoy that, but I think the new walk-on I've got now is quite great. I do enjoy it, and it gets the crowd going a little bit. I think they're buying into it as a great song, and not just the Leeds aspect. I like it for the song as well, not just that. So yeah, I'm really, really proud of the way that the crowd are really taking to it now, and it's always nice to have something that really gets the juices flowing when you're walking up on the stage and the crowd are enjoying it behind you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Look, how much does playing the world's best week upon week in the Premier League sort of push your own game on?
It does. It makes you consistently better. You know you have to perform. You know you can't be average. You have to be really good, or you're not going to win. So I think for me, playing in Premier Leagues and you're playing the best in week out for 16 weeks straight, it puts you in a good state. And it showed that last year. It was a really tough run, but I was probably the best performer in the league stages last year, and averaged over 100 for the tournament. So for me, it was a great campaign, and it made me sharp. It made me go on and win many more things after it. So it definitely does help your game out.
You mentioned burnout in one of your earlier questions there. Is that something people maybe don't realise? They see you go up, do your thing week after week, but when you throw in the travel, the sacrifices you have to make as a professional sportsman, how does that sort of impact you sort of as you go?
Yeah, you're right. Sometimes the people at home just see you throwing darts and that's it, but it's a lot more that goes into it around that. You leave on a Wednesday and you come in on a Friday, so that's 4 hours they're watching you on the Thursday night. There's a lot more that goes into it. So, there is a lot of travelling, a lot of sacrifice, but we're all very lucky to be here, do what we do, get paid incredibly well. So, it's a blessing for us all, and we can't complain, but it is really tough. You sacrifice a lot, but I'm really happy with what I do, and I love playing in the Premier League. So yeah, it's really excited for this year.